It's Adam from Krav Maga Northern Beaches here, and this is the third part of the series in learning how to deal with the knife. And we're looking at some knife threats and knife attacks, and this week we're looking at controlling the weapon. So I've got Tyler here again, and we've discussed, if you have some type of threat here where the knife is not actually stabbing, the person's just asking for something. There's a demand and they're asking for something. We generally, depending on the distance, if it's in some range where you're close, you have to control the weapon. If I'm in this distance here and I'm doing something and then attacking, I need in this distance here to be doing some type of control. Because the reality is, as soon as we get into that scuffle, the person's going to be punching with the knife. So virtually if we're in some type of fight here and we're punching 1-for-1, it's going to be game over for me. I cannot be in a situation where I'm in close and fighting and he has a knife. My primary focus is to stop the movement of this limb. As soon as I get to stop the movement of this limb, the knife's lost all of its power. So generally we teach this in some type of threat situation. There's a few different types of controls that we do have. The only time that this rule doesn't really apply is if I want to create distance. So if I've got more distance here, in whatever the case is, and I'm using some type of kick to push the person away, perfect. Or if I need to disengage and move away, I move straight away. So if there's further distance, you can use strikes, like we said last week, like strong counters. It might be here and I've moved and I've got a strong counter. Now I'm pushing away. Okay, I can use strikes, create distance, depending on the situation. But as soon as I'm in this closer range here and there's a threat or attack, I need to control the person. So we have a few different controls. One is a C grip. So I've got my C here and I'm controlling. Generally I do a strong counter, as we said last week, which hopefully in that case here I've done a little bit of damage. Then I'm controlling and locking out my joints. So the basic principle is to keep the knife away from my body. Counter hard and fast. I'm in this position, I've countered hard, I've got into some control, I'm locking out the joints here. Ideally I want to keep the knife away. If I can keep it next to him, perfect. From here then I can counter and then move. This doesn't mean that he's not going to be out this case here, depending on the counter. Of course he's going to be pulling and fighting and getting into a different situation. Now a different type of control which is very popular is this one here, where maybe the knife is coming in this manner here. These are the attacks here, nice and fast towards the belly. And I'm doing my block that we spoke about. But after I've done this, unless I've hit him really hard or created distance and move, I then need to control this limb. So my hand is sliding up and under, and I want to be controlling part of from his elbow to his wrist, and then I want the other hand to be sliding up near his elbow joint here. So I'm now pressing his arm towards me. And I want to then also be pressing my body towards him. So there's no distance here. There's no distance. In the control, if I'm controlling like this and there's distance, he pulls his arm out and back, then I'm back to square one. So I literally need to glue his body towards my body. And now I can also be pushing here with my shoulder towards him. Often a lot of people come to like a double control with their control, which is great. Generally in Krav Maga, we will generally have this hand up here. So I've got one hand controlling and one hand here. So I can sort of control his head and push away, which is uncomfortable. At the same time, I can quickly move around and continue striking, or potentially push down and then go for some type of takedown and then move away. Generally, this control is quite good to control the head. Okay, so that's generally what we do with Krav Maga. Other controls that we do have generally are from these positions here with some type of wrapping control. That's generally what we do here, and then push away is the best. But as I said before, with the control, you're countering, you need to get in close, you need to control the person, really glue it towards you. Then from here I can continue countering. As soon as I have control of the weapon, now I continue with the counters as hard as I can, and then I can disengage with more strikes, push away and then leave. Or do some type of disarm if I need the weapon. Generally, moving away, striking is the far better option. They're the basic controls. We do have some other controls where we have two hands on one, where it's not the back of a hand, and we're pushing away depending on the distance. And these normally apply when someone's drawing a weapon and I've gone to grabbing this distance here. So I've grabbed him, now I've kneed and I've gone to this position. Okay? Then from there, depending on the situation, if he's moving, then I can sometimes go to some type of other control. But all of the basic principles apply. Keep the knife away from your body, keep it in close, which is quite ironic because it's the exact opposite to the last principle. But as I said before, when you're in this close distance, I need to glue it on my body, okay? Otherwise, I'm gonna find myself in a lot of trouble. Okay, I hope this video helps, and I hope you don't get in any knife fights. Okay, see you guys, Kida.